Welcome to the third video in a 6-part series on API management capabilities in SnapLogic API Manager. In the last two videos, we learned how to create an API from an open API specification and from existing SnapLogic project assets. Now, we will learn how to add policies to the API, publish an API, unpublish, republish, deprecate, and retire an API. Publishing an API exposes it to the API consumers who are not part of the SnapLogic ecosystem. So before publishing, it's a good practice to add suitable policies to the API. Let us first see how to add a policy to an API. In SnapLogic Manager, navigate to the API Manager under API Management. Click the name of the API to open the API Details tab. Navigate to the Versions tab. Click on the version number to open the Version Details tab. Let's add appropriate API policies before we publish this API version. In the Version Details tab, click the plus icon to add a policy and select Request Size Limit from the drop-down. In the Add Policy dialog box, enter the required details such as when this policy should be applied, and maximum request size. Click Validate and save. You can add more policies at any time during the API lifecycle. Now, let's publish the API. In the Version Details tab of the API, click Publish. In the Publish API dialog box, select Upload API documentation file from Version and select the required JSON file. Select API from the Portal Categories drop-down. Click Publish and exit. A message confirms that the API has been published. You can verify the published status in the Version Details tab. You can unpublish or deprecate your API by clicking Unpublish or Deprecate respectively. Navigate to the Portal Manager. The Portal Manager lists all the APIs that have been published. You can see their current status and perform any action listed on the right side, like unpublish, deprecate, or retire. All the API consumers who have access to your org's developer portal can see the API. To unpublish, click Unpublish. A confirmation message will validate that the API got unpublished. An unpublished API can be republished by navigating back to the Versions tab in API Manager under API Management and by clicking Publish again. Click Deprecate and add a message for the user in the confirmation dialog box and click Deprecate again. A message confirms that the API has been deprecated. To retire this deprecated API, click Retire. And in the confirmation dialog box, click Retire. A message confirms that the API has retired. In this video, we learned how to add policies to the API, publish an API, unpublish, republish, deprecate, and retire an API. Watch the next video in this series to learn more about the developer portal.